Are you there, Ron?
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes, sir. We are rolling.
Okay. So I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Byers? Here. Commissioner McLean?
Here.
Commissioner Richardson?
Here.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Here.
Commissioner Williams?
Here.
Also present is Samantha, Zach Cook, and Stephanie for the Village of Ruidoso. You do have a quorum.
Okay. Do we have any conflict of interest? So we're all good?
Mr. Chairman, Rick Ball's here as well.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Rick. I just saw you on.
Okay. So we need a certification of compliance with resolution 2022-01.
I do certify that the meeting was noticed or was posted in compliance with accordance with resolution 2022-01 and in compliance with section 5440 of the municipal code.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? Yes. So can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
For June 7th of 2022.
Second.
Well, it would have been.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
We have the motion made by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Byers.
Okay, do we need a roll call or can we just signify by aye?
We need the roll call since we have people attending via Zoom.
Okay, so let's take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Baugh?
Yes.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner McLean?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
I'm going to abstain from voting on the minutes because I think I was only here for half of one of them. I could vote on the May 3rd, I think, but not the April 5th.
Okay, does that work that way, Samantha, or?
Or you guys can keep them together and I'll abstain.
That'd be fine if she abstained. That's perfectly fine.
Okay. So if we don't have a problem with the minutes, let's go ahead and take a roll call for that, or a motion, actually. Let's have a motion to approve the minutes.
Of April 5th or May 3rd?
April 5th first.
Okay.
I move that we approve the minutes for April 5th, 2022.
I second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baugh?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner McLean?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams is sustained.
Yes.
You do have, motion carries.
Okay. So everyone took a look at the May 3rd meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so can I have a motion to
Are there any?
approve those minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes for May 3rd of 2022, sir.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve and a second. Can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baugh?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner McLean?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Now, this is a point where we can have public input for anything that is not on our current agenda. Is there anyone that needs to speak? Is there anyone, Stephanie?
Not that I am seeing here. I do not see anybody else online.
Okay. So let's open the quasi judicial public hearing. And we're going to ask for a report on the variance approval case for 2022-211. And I had a question for you, Samantha. Can we do these both at the same time, or do they need to be done separately?
I think we should just go ahead and do them separate. The conditions are not going to change for each, but if we could just handle them separately.
Okay,
I know
that's
they're
fine.
very similar in the same applicant, but they're different lots.
Okay.
So this first one here, we have Wyatt Sparks representing the applicant. The applicant is requesting to encroach 2.5 feet into the 10-foot side yard setback into the east and west of the lots as designated by the R1 Single Family Residential District to construct a single-family dwelling located at 224 2nd Street, Lot 38, Block B of the Ruidoso Pine Lodge subdivision. One thing is you're going through the case study, the map that shows the current street structure view just has a typo. I want to bring that to your attention where it says street view from Brady Canyon. It's not Brady Canyon, it's 2nd Street. But if you want to swear in anybody that may be wanting to speak online as well as in person,
Okay.
we can move.
Do I do that or do you?
I'd be happy to if you'd like, or you can as well.
Okay, I'll let you do it from there.
Okay, anybody virtually wishing to speak for or against this case as well as in person, please raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Do you swear? Thank you, Wyatt. All right, so, do you want to come and, let us know about this project and why they need to encroach?
Right here.
Yes, please.
Well, this property, several years back, somebody was gonna build on it and came and asked for a variance and was granted a variance. And they actually were going closer to the property line than what is being proposed now. That variance was granted at the time. They never built on the property, and so they turned around and sold it to Alex Armendariz, who's a contractor here in town, who's planning to build a couple of small units on these lots. They're basically 35-foot wide lots, and so when you take 10 out each side, you only have 15 feet left to build anything in. So anyway, he's already designed something he wants to go on the lot, and he's asking for a variance to be able to put them on there.
Okay, does the commissioners have any questions about this or?
Do you want to open up the public hearing?
Okay, I didn't know whether we should ask the commission first, but we can. Go ahead and open the public hearing. Do we have any people for or against it?
I do not have anybody present, and it does not appear that anybody's wishing to speak online.
Okay,
We did receive one correspondence, and they state that they are the adjacent property owner. Their email states that they do not want the setbacks reduced, because it'll make the area too compact.
okay. How close are they to the property? Are they right next to it or?
They state they're the, that they own the adjacent lot.
Okay. All right, commissioners, do you have any questions?
Are you ready to close the public hearing?
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay,
A standard size minimum lot frontage is usually 75 feet, is that right? 70, 75 feet? Did I read that in the?
75 by 100, but these are already irregular shaped.
Well, but why would you, I suppose, why would a subdivision that has put lots that are substandard in there, why would you buy that, not buy the next one to it, plan on building one, replatting it into one? These are horrendously small lots. It's really amazing that this is,
We did make that recommendation to the applicant that they combine these lots and only build one home that met the setbacks, but they want to have two homes constructed there and have two lots.
And there's no grandfathering in, because these were platted years ago, right? When the Pine Lodge subdivision, because that's how a lot of the lots are in that part of town are.
So we wouldn't force them to replat to make a larger lot. It would stay a non-conforming size for an R1 lot, but the exception to build into the setbacks is not grandfathered in, just because it's a substandard size lot.
Gotcha. But the minimum width and the minimum depth are, that's,
It can remain,
okay.
but that's why they're here, applying before you all to ask to encroach.
Right, yeah, I guess my question is, shouldn't it be a multiple variance, right? Because they have to have a minimum of 75 and a minimum of 100, and I think this was the point that you were making.
But it's
They-
existing.
So they don't have to apply for multiple
that's right.
variances, just into the setback. Gotcha.
is there a size limitation, Samantha, what they can build in that subdivision?
We don't enforce covenances. We have the minimum square foot standard set by Chapter 22 of the building code, but we wouldn't enforce anything that was for that Pine Lodge subdivision, if there is a minimum for them.
And so how big are these units?
Uh, 16 by 39 feet is what I've got on my deal, so you're basically looking at something around a little over 600 square feet. The subdivision was platted in 1929.
Right.
But something that's gone on up there, there's been several people that have gone on lots and got variance and built nice little affordable apartments up there. And so, it really, if you're allowed to build on these small lots, they can build a small unit on there that accommodates people that don't have places to rent or don't have money to buy a substantial house. There's been quite a few of them done up in that subdivision that have come out really nice. So,
Okay. Bart, what do you think?
I think there is a need for small housing like this, and it's kind of on the verge of a tiny house, and and there's a trend in the nation going that way, and
Sure.
this whole subdivision is,
unusually,
it's out of the ordinary, and, back in the day, my understanding, there were lots that were given away from when you bought a subscription to the newspaper in El Paso kind of thing, and it's, if we, I guess I'm in favor of going ahead and allowing, because they're not encroaching that much. It's not like they're going up to the lot line, and they're, here again, there's, especially with the fact that we've had so many working individuals lose homes up and down Gavilan, that there's a definite need, and so that's where I'm leaning.
Samantha, what's the minimum building size, square footage?
Is it 200 square feet for the building code?
No,
200?
Dwelling, yeah.
no, this isn't 200. It's 160.
160 square feet?
Yeah, it's 10 by 16, right? Is that not what you said?
No, it's 39 by 16, which is like 625
okay.
square feet.
That's, each one is,
Yeah, and they have a little bit of open decks and some stuff on them too.
Isn't it 20 by 34 to clarify? So it's even bigger than the 16,
Yeah,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So it's
well,
like 600 square feet,
Yeah,
Yeah,
if I did that, 680.
sorry, guys.
but, and typically a lot of these lots haven't been built on because you have quite a bit of slope on the lots. And so it's not easy, to elevate them and get a place to park and stuff on these lots up here typically. And if you can see, he's gonna have to do some retaining walls and come up in the back, quite a bit to get these houses, to work real good on the lot, so, when you have stuff like that on the cheap lots in the past, the amount of work you have to do to get a house on it hasn't had people flocking in there to build little houses on them. Alex has done quite a few structures here. He's a pretty good builder, but he's planning to elevate them and put some retaining walls and get some parking and stuff to make them, nice little units.
So this is on the downslope of Second Street, not on the upslope? Like downslope going towards
It's
the
down
two-
sloping toward First Street on, to the north.
Okay.
so Samantha, there's no drainage issues or anything?
That'll be
For
addressed
these
during
lots?
the building permit.
Okay. Well, I think there's a definite need for it. And, it may only be 600 some square feet, but if they're done the right way, they can really be an asset, I think.
Yeah. I've had friends who lived in 400 square foot apartments and,
And it beats a
Austin.
mobile home, you know.
yeah. So these are actually frame built.
They're site-built,
Yeah, they're site built. And like I say, the other thing with the slope of the hill, a lot of times they'll get some usable space underneath for storage and put the utilities, water heaters and stuff like that underneath, so
Gives them more
it helps maximize the square
Floors.
footage that's usable on the top because it's not taken up with utilities and water closets for the hot water heater and furnace and that sort of thing, so that's typically how they get built on those lots up there. There's got this kind of slope on them.
Okay. Anyone else? Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion. Based on the foregoing findings of fact per 54-92, 54-66, and 54-140 of the Village Code, I move to grant the requested variance of case number 22-211 with the conditions stated in the case report.
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baugh?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner McElina?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. So we'll move on to the next one, which is variance request on PV-2022-212.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. This variance is also to encroach 2.5 feet into the required 10-foot side yard setbacks for the R1 zoning district located at 224 Lot 38, Block B of the Ruidoso Pine Lodge subdivision. So as you can tell, it's identical with them proposing an identical footprint of the same type of structure.
Is this one where we received the complaint by the neighbor not wanting it built? or not the variance?
Yes, so their complaint was for both, and it's the owner at, 220 Second Street.
Yeah, okay. How close is their home built to the lot line, do you know?
So where they're wanting to encroach isn't on the same side of the property that the lot line that they share. But I don't know how close their home is built to the setbacks.
And you said they were in 220?
Yes.
They own 219 and 220.
Okay.
To the west.
So if we could just go through the same procedure, open the public hearing and close it, and then,
Okay, I'd like to open the public hearing for anyone who would like to speak for or against.
no one here in the audience.
Okay, no one online?
No, sir, there's only one other, and they have not.
Yes, I would like to go ahead and say something.
Okay, we'll need to swear you in.
Yeah.
Do you have access to your camera?
I do. It should be on. I don't, start video. This is like my second Zoom meeting ever. I don't know how to operate all of these.
It's okay if you just state that you promise to swear and tell the truth.
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm raising my right hand. Although you can't see it, I do swear to tell the truth in every aspect of today.
Thank you. If you'll just state your
Oh, there we
name,
go.
for the record.
Sure, my name is Edwin Kraus.
Oh, hi, Ed.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing quite well. My concern, I have the property directly below, on First Street, below this, the 212 and the 222, or whatever it is, to 222 and 224 property. And I do have concerns, not necessarily about the side-to-side setback, but this is not concerning any front-to-back setback, is it?
No, it's not, just the side yard.
Okay, side yard setback. Yeah, because, and there was just a couple of concerns, that and the water runoff. I know that's not necessarily something that can be addressed right now, but my other concern is short-term rental versus long-term rental properties going up in this neighborhood. I know there is a need for long-term rental versus the short-term, because there's an abundance of short-term rentals in town. And is this something that he's speculating building for short-term rentals or to address the needs of the community?
As far as I know, he's not getting into short-term rental business. He's constructing them to sell as a contractor, and so I don't think he's gonna retain the property. I think he'll develop it and then sell the units. He does have some plans for a swell, a drainage swell down below to help keep from dumping excess drainage onto you down below. He's already got that in his plan, so
Okay.
he's gonna do some.
Yeah, because it's previously undeveloped right now, and boy, once they start disturbing the vegetation,
Kidding.
monsoon's going to be tough on me.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But no, that's the whole basis of my concern is the back-to-back or the front-to-back setback. Farther away from me, the better for noise.
Okay.
And Mr. Kraus, if you didn't access the packet online, just to clarify, the setbacks for the back lots are showing 30.16 feet. And the front lot towards Second Street is coming in at 20.96 feet.
Oh, and how far was the back setback? 30 point what?
30.69 according to the
Okay.
survey.
Oh, that's that's well within the 20-foot setback.
Yeah.
So that's I can live with that.
Okay.
That's basically my concern, and I do appreciate you trying to combine these lots together, which I did voice my opinion on the last time these went up for easement, or not easement, but
Variance request.
variance request about it being the lots being combined in a larger home being built versus the two, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Okay.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you joining us.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate
I
your
hope I am heard.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Certainly.
Commissioners, anybody else have any questions or?
Yeah, sorry.
About this?
I should have asked this earlier. So the back setback, it's 30 feet from the back of the house. And the deck, the covered deck that it's listed in the plans, how large of that deck is it? Because it just says 20 feet, and I assume the 20 feet is from side to side. But it doesn't show, is it 8 feet that it goes backwards from the back?
It looks like an 8-foot deck.
20 by 8,
Yeah.
going off the back? Okay.
Yeah, there it is, 8.
So it's still 20 feet setback from the back of the lot line?
Yeah.
Okay. No other questions, thank you.
Okay. Well, I think that was a good question about whether this was going to be a rental property or whether it's going to be a specific homeowner property. And you're telling us basically that he does plan on selling the units?
Like I say, my deal with him, he's done custom-built homes and developed a few properties, but he hasn't been in the rental business, so I can't, I can't envision that he's building them to rent and turn into rental units, that he's building them for construction and a sale. That's my understanding of what he's going to do there.
Sure.
You don't really have any control over that, do we?
No,
I
unfortunately.
mean, it wouldn't matter what his
No.
intentions were or what the buyer's intentions were. We don't have any control over that in our ordinances as far as it affecting our decision.
Right. I got a half dozen rentals around my place.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of changes this with being so small, being a permanent residence compared to a short-term rental. We don't need more short-term rentals unless we need long-term
I
housing.
know, but
But you can't.
there has to be another committee that decides that because it's not within our purview, right? Am I right, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already approved one.
Yep. This one should have just slid right on through.
Can we entertain a motion?
I'll do the motion again, I guess, since I did the first one. Based upon the foregoing findings of fact, per 54-92-66-140 of the Village Code, I move to grant the requested variance, case number PV 22-2, what is it? 22? 212. Sorry, I did 211 before, 212.
Yeah.
With the conditions stated in the case report.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Baugh?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner McLean?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right.
So Wyatt, do you know what's going on that piece of property behind you where they put the fence?
Well, I know a little bit about it. I know that property's owner has been there for a long time, and everybody's been driving and using it like it
Parking lot.
It wasn't his, and so he basically wanted to put up some kind of a fence to cut the property off and be used by everybody else. But I don't think he has any plans right now to build anything on it. I think he just wants to secure the property with a nice fence. So, that's all I know is going on.
Okay, just curious.
He put quite a fence up, but, you know.
Yeah,
I
no
was a little
kidding. I mean,
surprised
they
at
could have
the size
gone,
of it.
you know,
A cable and some pipe would have done the same thing.
Will
Well-
you be signing on behalf of the?
You know, I
With
wonder, I
with the
said
cost
that
of
we
wood,
can't.
it seems strange to me, but
Zach, you know, I said, I understood that we couldn't make a decision based on that. However,
so it's a 7th?
could that not be put as a conditional use for the well-being of the community who have opposed short-term rental and small crowding spaces?
Not with our overlay zone, and then the permitting process will restrict the number of vehicles that can be parked there.
Oh, I know, yeah, right.
That's become a short-term rental.
But we could have done a variance if we wanted, like, because there's conditions within the variance, right? We
But
dictated,
not to restrict the use that's allowable.
but we dictated the number of hours being used for the last one that we talked about, just hypothetically. Under a condition, and this is a condition, this is different, with variance, okay, thank you.
That- It's just a thought to mill around for the future.
Okay. What about old business? Do we have an update, Samantha, on 718 Carrizozo Canyon?
Yes, Stephanie will give her update on that property.
Okay.
See,
I did, go by the property located at 718 Carrizo Canyon today. I did not see any, substantial nuisances available on the property at the time of the drive-by. It appeared to still be making progress and being in conformance as stated, the last update by code enforcement.
Have you had any calls on the property?
I have not, and I do not believe I've intercepted any for Samantha either.
Okay. How much longer does he have the temporary, I guess, probation?
So moving forward, our reports will be every 90 days.
Okay. All righty. Do you have anything on the community development report?
No, we're continuing to work on the rewrite of Chapter 54. In addition, there's some language being changed in the sign ordinance that we had presented to you all 2 months ago. So we'll bring that back to you all after the changes are made. There was some conflicting language with that we were challenged on recently in a court case. So we'll bring it back here,
Okay.
hopefully in July. But that's all I
Alrighty.
have.
Any comments, commissioners?
There's one more point for this
Oh,
month,
okay.
just to let you guys know, we are having a, town hall for address changes affecting Sutter Drive. It'll be all the way from the Y up to the circle. And that town hall will be Thursday, the 16th at 6:30, and notices will be mailed out this Friday.
Holy cow, that's a lot of address changes. What's
Yeah.
prompting that?
The entire village is being readdressed. So any streets, we have a huge issue with 911 addressing. So we have many streets that have evens on both sides of the street. There's some names that are similar, so they'll have the same main part of the street, and it'll be like drive or court at for the suffix, and so we've got to get that corrected. Now that we're moving to consolidated dispatch throughout the entire county, we're also changing any duplicate names that are found in adjacent communities. So if Ruidoso Downs has a first street and we have a first street, we'll be changing the name of the street. And so we're starting with the main veins throughout town. So we started at Highway 70, that's been finished. And now we've moved to Suttereth, and then we'll go to Meacham.
How do you find out what your new address is if you have a business on Sutter?
We're notifying them by mail, and so then they'll also have the link or the time and date to join us in person.
How many properties do you think this will affect up and down Sutter?
Stephanie knows for sure because she's the one doing it.
There are well over 1,000 address points on Sutter Drive, and there were only about 23 that will remain as their correct address.
And so the first address placard will be.
That's a huge cost to all these
man.
business
I'm not
owners
kidding.
and, you know, their letterheads, their mailing, just everything that,
This huge
you know,
canvas garage
it's
sign.
huge. That can be,
If we don't address them now with the way that the town is expanding and replatting and all of that, instead of a 1 address change, they could have up to 6 within the next few years.
But I understand what you're saying. I used to work 2 doors down on Kansas City, and we received 3 new addresses in like the 7 years I was employed there. And so we had to order all new envelopes, letterheads, like you're stating. So it was a huge cost and confusion with FedEx and UPS. But in the
right?
grand scheme of things, how can you put a price on life safety when someone's calling in 112 and they're not even on the correct side of the road to be an even number? So we've got to get this straightened out. It's a huge issue, and our first
I have to
responders.
call my new renter.
So, and this is for every street. So,
Eventually, it will be
so like Main Road. there's
every
probably a
street within
Main
our
Road,
municipality.
Every street within Redoso, and so that's also the outlying communities as well. We're renaming those because we're going to one dispatch system.
No, we're not renaming any other municipality, only what we have jurisdiction over, which is Ruidoso.
So if Carrizozo has a main, we would have to change we're changing our address.
Because it'll be easier than asking their governing body to change, and we've already started the effort.
No, but we're different cities.
But when we're in the same dispatch area, it does do the whole county. They need to be able to differentiate Ruidoso Downs, Capitan, and send out the corresponding personnel.
Even if you say you live in, I mean, wouldn't that be part of the address you give to the emergency people, is the town you live in?
You would think, but a lot of people that live in or are doing like short-term rentals in Alto think they're in Ruidoso and they're really not here. And the same in Ruidoso Downs, they don't understand that they're not in our community.
Wow.
This is,
How do we, I mean, it seems like if we change it once and we're basing it off of everybody having a unique numerical and street name, there's a chance that if Carrizozo puts in a new street, they aren't following our same platting or addressing. So then we would have to change our addressing again?
This is gonna be a one-time effort through our
I know
community.
that this is gonna be a one-time effort, but if they add, if we change ours to
Yeah.
1500 North, I don't know, Golf Course Lane, for example, and they add a golf course lane in the same number, we would then always have to rechange the address.
in order to keep
It would be on us to always change the address.
consistent.
Yeah,
with this
that's not my
proposed-
understanding moving forward. It's just an effort right now during our readdressing that we've taken this project on.
This is,
According to the 911 addressing guides, if they were to develop a new subdivision, they would have to do their due diligence for the surrounding communities and not duplicate names.
Okay, so there is and who creates those guidelines?
The state of New Mexico.
Okay, so there is a stopgap, so we aren't doing this.
No.
'Cause we're
After
very
we
in the
already
process.
do ours, we would not have to do it again.
Thank you.
But I'm with y'all. I'll be one of the ones being changed.
She'll be lucky enough to get a name and an address.
how soon can you find out? Do you have to wait for the letter to come, or can you come down? and
Are you on
find out?
Sudreth?
Yes, there,
Stephanie could
past
probably
the
help
line.
you out.
yeah.
But it's
just
all,
past
we're
the
just
line.
starting with the main ones, but it's gonna be every street.
Yes.
This was an ongoing effort by our previous addresser, but it never took flight. So
Wow.
Stephanie's been,
Yeah, because I thought that we had done this before and corrected a bunch of that stuff, and,
There
I
were
really
Band-Aids
like the name of
placed,
my road.
but it didn't appropriate for the new growth that we're seeing today.
If it does have to change, can we pick the new name if it's your road? If it's like, one little lane going in and it's,
There's an addressing committee, and it'll all be followed through as designated by road name changes through our ordinance.
We'll have to bring it to council. There's a whole section of the ordinance that talks about how road names are selected. It's gonna be a very painful process.
you mean like no more Dingbat Lane or no more Dingbat Drive or? Oh, too bad. That's really disappointing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be quite the undertaking.
Yeah,
It has been.
quite.
Boy, are you
Yeah,
gonna
in
get
2
pushed back on
streets,
this?
I've put in well over 200 hours.
Oh,
And we're not even finished doing Sutter yet.
But if you
Alright.
saw what our first responders use to locate homes, you would fall over. It is horrible. They have like little notes that help them get to different streets and which streets to follow and which not to follow. It's bad.
actually, I can attest to that because I do listen to the scanner, mainly because of fire. But it's amazing how many of the addresses are messed up. And they talk about it all the time on the radio. So,
A lot of times they won't even give an address. They'll just say we're at Travel Lodge or.
yeah. Well, with that good news, you guys want to adjourn?
We'll see you Friday.
Okay. This meeting's adjourned. Whack.
Thank you.
So Samantha, is there anything going on with Swiss Chalet and that property?